So I'm delighted to welcome Jack Raynor, which is the co-chair of the Open Converged Wireless Project Group at TIP, but at the same time is a staff member of Meta, and before he has worked with CommScope, Motorola, Comcast. So Jack, I imagine you have lots to share about TIP progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, sorry. I'm usually pretty loud, so people don't have that. So I'm just going to go briefly through very high level, and this has evolved a bit recently, driven off of some of the innovation in the community. That dashed box that you see there, we basically created a base enterprise Wi-Fi platform. It encompasses the firmware that runs on access points, the firmware that runs on switches, campus switches, and soon to be aggregation switches as well. And then a set of microservices that's a cloud-based controller. And basically it's open source. It's not a product. We don't compete directly in the market with anyone. However, our community members who come in and build solutions off of this are competitive in the market. And so we basically want to create an environment where we allow new entrants into our industry to come in and have a starting point that's not really low. And so one of the things we like to say is many of the base Wi-Fi features and enterprise features are kind of table stakes now. And so again, we wanted to create an environment where new entrants into the community, into the Wi-Fi industry, and new innovation developing from the Wi-Fi industry doesn't have to start at the very bottom. We basically created this platform that's table stakes, and our community members now come in and they build value-added products on top of this, not just kind of enterprise Wi-Fi products, but also kind of AI/ML applications and captive portal and radius solutions. And so because we're open, everything can be integrated directly into that platform. And so again, I think that's our contribution, our small contribution to the industry, is that you don't have to start from the very bottom. Here's a platform, it's open source, and includes many of the enterprise features that are kind of standard now in the industry. And why is it innovative? This presentation is about driving innovation in the industry, and much like the WBA and the WFA and many of these organizations that allows people from the industry to come in and collaborate, the collaboration of ideas is what is innovative. And so we say, if you provide an environment that's open to everyone, anyone can join the community and contribute their knowledge to this project. And you provide the framework where they can openly collaborate with one another, and you enable a culture of transparency and diversity of thought. There's a whole feedback loop that gets created there, and then things start to grow from there. More community members join, and the diversity increases, the collaboration increases, and that produces great Wi-Fi. I mean, it really does. The amazing job that this community does. Many of them are competitors, and they're building solutions that compete against one another. We have 10 different ODMs building hardware in this platform. We have 8 to 10 OEMs who are building controller-based managed solutions off of this. And we have a dozen MSPs that are in there feeding ideas back into the community. So it really is about the community and the collaboration and the diversity of thought and ideas that goes into all the features that get built in the stack. This is like this is really meant to show like the different types of community members. We have service providers, big and small. We have chip providers, Qualcomm and MediaTek, and I'll get into that in a little bit more detail. We have hardware makers and controller platforms, ISPs and MSPs, many who are here presenting, and then kind of the value-added technology partners, many of you who are out in the audience today. And when this stack was created, it's a relatively new stack. It's only about 4 years old, and only about in the last 2 years have we really had a solution that people can then adopt and scale really quickly. But I wanted to highlight some of the modern thought that went into this. Because it's new, we had a clean slate, and we wanted to build something that was, modern in nature. So we had a starting point. It was OpenWRT. Why OpenWRT? Well, it's got a very robust development community in the world. There are hundreds of millions of OpenWRT-based devices out there. And we said, all right, let's take OpenWRT and let's build enterprise features on top of that. And, that's essentially what Open Wi-Fi is. We wanted to be cloud native, so you'll see cloud native controller here. We didn't want to be bound by location, and so everything we do is cloud native. Everything we do is microservice based. The APIs are all open. We wanted to be secure, and we wanted to build zero-touch provisioning features around it. So we have a PKI platform that we use. And we have a robust data model, again, uCentral, which is the native data model for OpenWRT. Originally, we were OpenSync based when we started. We pivoted to our 2.0 platform, which is uCentral. Why uCentral? Because again, it's the native data model and schema platform for OpenWRT. This provides a lot of collaboration in the industry because there's like hundreds of developers and companies that leverage this technology. And it allows us to have a smaller footprint and be more efficient and economical with our devices. We wanted to build streaming telemetry, so you don't have to call into our CLI. You don't have to have legacy API calls to get the data out of our platform. We have a Kafka streaming bus. Anyone can subscribe to it, and so these are the tenets, along again with the open APIs that we wanted to build this platform off of and say, yeah, here, innovative Wi-Fi community, build off of this. Here's something that's easy to build off of. And then in the beginning, that was just open Wi-Fi. And this community really is extremely knowledgeable. Many of them come from the industry for the last 20 years in different companies and capacities. And so they had a knowledge of, what are the key things that we need to do here to evolve. So it started out as open Wi-Fi. Very recently, one of our community member companies, Shasta Cloud, who you're going to hear from tomorrow, came up with the idea that we can't just have Wi-Fi access points. We have to have a whole ecosystem here. So we need to have the campus switches. We need to be able to support PoE capability. And so we developed a new project, which you'll see right there, called OpenLAN switching, OLS. And Tim Race is from our community. He's going to be speaking about that tomorrow. And so I'm not going to go too detailed into it. And then Howard Buzik, who's here also, leads the OpenLAN business group, which is a group of MSPs that are a part of our community. And that's where we get that feedback loop. The MSPs kind of drive the requirements. And then the engineering side of the community, this what we call the supply side of the community, builds that. And so, again, talking a few slides ago about that feedback loop, the MSPs have a direct seat at the table in this community. They directly collaborate and communicate the requirements that they need to generate business with the engineering and testing teams. And that is a really invaluable resource. I've been a part of product teams of varying types throughout my career. And there's a lot of innovation that comes out of that. It's just different. But again, having a community where the supply and demand sides of the house all collaborate and communicate with one another, I think really produces great thought in how features are developed and how they can accommodate many different use cases. So I think that's really something that's unique about us. And then next, we're talking about now aggregation switching on top of the campus switching. And so, the great thing about this community is that anyone with an idea and someone that wants to roll their sleeves up and do something can drive it. We have a new community member called Larch Networks as a part of our OpenLAN switching community. They called me last week. They said, you know what, we want to do aggregation switching and we want to lead it. And I said, yeah, I'm going to give you the forum. You guys can take the lead and drive it. And anyone can do that in our community. It's not top down. You don't have to get permission. You have to build business cases around anything. If you really want to roll up your sleeves and do something and it fits into our charter, you can do it. This is just a roadmap, just to show that we do have a roadmap. It's, again, a very collaborative community. Some of the features that we're working on, again, trying to create the table stakes part of this. We're working on cloud horizontal scaling, to millions of devices, which I'll talk about briefly in a minute. We're talking about Wi-Fi 7. We're talking about AFC, device fingerprinting. We're introducing MediaTek Wi-Fi 7 into our stack. So we're diverse at every part of the stack. We're silicon diverse. We're AP and switch hardware diverse. We're cloud controller diverse. And I think, those are the things that kind of make us different. And as I mentioned, this was, we have a new project called OpenLAN switching. It's initially the campus switches and evolving to the aggregation switches. And what's great about this? This was contributed and driven directly by a community member, a small number of community members. They started the project up. They created the working group. They created the documentation in our Confluence site. They started to hold meetings and build requirements. And now, within, I think it's been 18 months, just to tell you about the kind of the acceleration that's capable in this community. And within 18 months, they've gone from having 0, and I think we're going to have somewhere in the number of 50 different switch variants from 5 different companies and 4 different chip vendors. So, and they're starting to be rolled out into production in just 18 months. So it really is. The cycle of innovation and acceleration is amazing in this community. Just a little bit about the OpenLAN switching. I'm not going to go too deep into it because Tim's going to talk about it tomorrow. But again, we're talking about white box switches, 8 to 48 ports, open interfaces, zero-touch deployment along with the APs, high power PoE++, Wi-Fi 6, 7 ready, and layer 2, layer 3 sets. So again, this is one of the innovations that came directly from our community. One other one is called Cloud Gateway. So again, our controller SDK, which you can think of as like an environment where someone could come in and paint a picture or something, is a set of microservices. And if someone wants to contribute a microservice or has an idea for a new microservice, you can drive it. And again, our community drove this new microservice called Cloud Gateway. It addresses scale. It addresses an overall topology view of the switches and the access points in the field. And it's designed and developed by the community and driven by the community, which is extraordinary, really. And then I mentioned a minute ago about the OpenLAN business group. And again, Howard Buzik leads that. We have many MSPs that are a part of this. They meet, I think, every 2 weeks. And again, it's a direct feedback loop between the deployers of open Wi-Fi based stacks and the engineering and testing community that receives the information, creates the features, tests them, and gets them out into our stack. One thing I didn't mention when I showed the roadmap, and I love to say this, and I know Jaspreet's here, he leads our engineering and testing groups. We've been at it for 4 years. We have quarterly releases. We've never missed a release. Every single quarter, on the quarter, we release. We have a major upgrade once a year. This December 30th, we're going to be starting on our 4.0 stack. 2.0 kind of was the use central based stack that was able to be deployed. 3.0 was Wi-Fi 7 AFC focused, and now we're going to move to beyond that to our 4.0 stack starting in January. And then I always get the questions about AI ML. Everyone's talking about AI. Eric said it. It wasn't 20. It was probably 30, and everyone brings it up. And you know, people ask me all the time, "What are you guys doing around AI ML?" And I talk to Intel about the AI ML focused group here at WBA. We again are not a product. I want to stress that we are an open community that anyone can join and build products off of. Anyone can join. Even if you want to spy on us, you know, you can join the community and listen into our calls and learn about different things. But basically, again, going back to that original slide I showed with the technology, the advanced technology thought that we had in mind when we built this, again, being cloud native, being open API, being microservice based, streaming telemetry platform. So, you know, we are an AI ML enabler. We don't build the product. We build the core solution that allows some, you know, innovative business mind to come along and say, "Oh, this is a really easy platform for me to take, adopt, and build the advanced technologies on top of." So I think that's really, really important to understand. And then I wanted to take a few minutes just to talk. I really want to thank the WBA. It's a testament to how far we've come. But we have our own summit tomorrow. I wanted to make everyone aware of it. The afternoon session tomorrow, it's going to be completely OpenLAN based. I'll be kicking it off very briefly to do a welcome address. We have Robert Groves from Worldview on. He's going to do a case study for an open Wi-Fi deployment that they have at Worldview. Again, Tim Race is going to be on here. He's going to be talking about Shasta Cloud and the OpenLAN switching piece of the community. Hugh Rees from NetExperience is going to be talking about their solution and opportunities and the innovation that's happening at NetExperience. And then Dr. Derek Peterson, Iran Dour from Pavlov, obviously Dr. Derek Peterson from Boingo Wireless, and Kevin Franzen from AT&T are going to be doing a roundtable to talk about open Wi-Fi generally and you know what the MSP Alliance is about and how it helps the community and what their general thoughts on open Wi-Fi are. And that's it. I will open it up to the floor for some questions.
Thank you so much, Jack. Yeah, we don't want to spoil the OpenLAN event tomorrow, but for the folks here in the room, any questions to Jack? Well, I have one, Jack, that is open Wi-Fi, open LAN, switching, and then open roaming. So Deep Open Wi-Fi was one of the first to adopt it. How do you see all these worlds coming together based on your recent deployments?
Yeah, so I talked about the table stakes features. Passpoint and open roaming have been table stakes features in our stack now for 2 years. So every open Wi-Fi access point, every time we add something to the stack, it becomes table stakes, right? And so open roaming is table stakes. Passpoint, obviously, which open roaming leverages, is table stakes. Open LAN switching and all of those features are going to be table stakes. And so it's there. It's able to be used. Yes. It's for those value-added product builders that work on top of that stack now to come in and drive the business side of that ecosystem. And I see it growing. I see the discussions happening around here about, how do we make it easy and how do we make it business friendly for people to use? Those are now the problems that need to be solved. The technology's there. It's been there for several years, and people just need to now adopt it and find out how to make it fit in the world.
Like a toolkit. Thank you so much, Jack.
We are a toolkit.
Thank you so much. Super. Please. Okay, let's carry on. So next, I would like to invite Bart Giordano. He's the president for networking at Ruckus Networks. And you know Bart from Ruckus for so long, but I would like to say that Bart already worked also for Marvell Semiconductor and also Ignite as business development. Yeah. So welcome, Bart.
Thank you very much.
Please.